So coming up next, Ghana versus Mauritius in the second bowl semi-final. Mauritius yesterday lost quite heavily against Zimbabwe in their first game, losing 34-0. And then a better performance against Tunisia, scoring 2 tries on that occasion, but still going down, where Ghana had a tough draw. They were up against Uganda in their first match, losing 45-0 before suffering their second defeat of the day as they went down to Senegal 24-12. So this should be a good battle between these two sides. And in this part of the competition, it's all about avoiding that bottom spot. Nobody really wants to finish in position number 12. So Mauritius will be playing from right to left in the first half in their red and white kits, taking the kickoff, playing against the wind. Well secured by Klugi for Ghana, and taken out at the back, it's Donkor as well. And now some early opportunity for the wingers of Ghana to show the speed that they have, running with the wind at their back. Good work at the breakdown as well, making sure that they secure that ball as it comes out to this near side to Carlos. Ghana showing some great speed yet again down this right-hand touchline on this occasion. And it's Dorpeño who will go over for the first points of the match. Excellent last-minute cover tackle, but it wasn't going to be enough to bring Alexander Dorpeño to ground before the try line. And it is the Ghanaian side in the lead.
There you put down Dorpeño. And on that list of speedsters, he showed exactly what we were talking about. I mean, that was wonderful pace to just go through the gap and be able to score Ghana's first try. And this is a positive start for them after being under pressure in terms of being tipped to progress even further than they did last year. This is a good start. Dorpeño, the gas man, is in for his first try.
Mauritius allowing the ball to bounce, so it's Ghana back in possession. Thought about giving the pass out of the back of the hands, did Kofi Appiah, but opting against it. Now it's in the hands of Emmanuel Carlos. Carlos with some strong handoffs. Can he get the pass away on the inside? He does manage to get it to the try scorer, Dorpeño. Puts his head down into the tackle. Still available for the Ghanaian side, and offside. Mauritius were in an offside position, so the penalty is there for Ghana, 10 meters short of the 22-meter line.
There's Gafour, a player that's based in Johannesburg and plays for the Lions. Excellent runner, and I'd like to see him getting more ball. He's a devastating runner, and he's scored a number of good tries as he's played for the Lions. Of course, played for the Rondebosch boys in Cape Town. So he's got a lot of rugby culture within him, and you know, glad to see him playing within this African Sevens rugby circuit, and that's always good to see players that have increased their players elsewhere and have come to play.
Mauritius trying to run the ball out of their own 22. Montecchio, man who was very busy yesterday for this Mauritius side, doing a lot of the ball carrying. Strong tackle coming from Alexander Dorpeño. Now picked up at the back by Batfield. Long pass coming from Adrian Riveland into the hands of Montecchio again. Now some space for Mauritius to try and exploit as Janovic Bucks take it down that right-hand touchline. Picked up at the back by Zachary Robder. Back to Riveland. Into the hands of Nairak, deciding to run the ball infield. Does well to keep the ball infield and makes it available, but it's been stolen by this Ghanaian side. Illegally so, says the referee. So the penalty is there for Mauritius. They're trying to speed things up a little bit. Donkor gets the pass away to Luckman. Now it's in the hands of Big Kofi Apia. Back to Montechiu. Still it's available for this Mauritius side. Back to Kofi Apia. Apia back to Luckman now. Trying hard to break through this Ghanaian defense, which is holding very nicely for the moment. And Mauritius also playing with a man down. One of their players is receiving some attention on this near side. It's available now for Donkor, and gets it away to Nati down that right-hand touchline. Still the Ghanaian defense is holding. And eventually the penalty goes the way of Ghana. That's excellent defense from the Ghanaian side.
Finally, after about 3 or 4 shots at it, now they're able to get a penalty against them. But it was good contesting at the ruck. They've been contesting at each and every ruck, and the ref just hasn't given them a call yet. But this was the first one. As we see the Mauritius players struggling with a couple of niggles, and I think, you know, their youth, because they've got a lot of young players that they've brought through. Some of those young players are starting to take, you know, real toll in terms of the physicality, and the Ghanaians aren't letting up. They've got great physical structures, don't they, the Ghanaians? Some real athletes there. If they're able to pick up their skills, they could be very dangerous. And this is quite clever. Gafour's got a kick through. The medics are in the way. Are they going to stop him from scoring a try? And that's a good hinge kick. A long pass, and they're going to score.
Well, a risky play, but it works out for the Ghanaians.
Yeah, with the assistance of some of those medics that were on the field. It was a clever kick through from the penalty.
Reminds me of back in the day. I think it was the All Black side who did that a couple of times, especially Jonah Lomu. He goes over on the touchline and decides to throw this basketball pass on the inside, or American football pass, try and make the kick a little bit better. I think if your players did that, they would have showed that they don't have much faith in your kicking ability.
Well, you know, speaking about my former teammates, but I think if I had to witness some of my boys that I coach now, if they were to do that, whoever throws that pass is getting substituted in the next second. But you know how coaches are, they over emotional. But it's always good to encourage the players to have that freedom and confidence, because, you know, throwing that pass gives you more confidence while you're playing in general play.
Mauritius doing all the playing at the moment, but the Ghanaian defense is really, really looking good today. Adrian Riverland with the pass, and it's been intercepted. It's by Donkor, it looks like, and he dives over spectacularly under the poles. And it's the third try for Ghana.
Yeah, the third try has been scored. As he registers his first try. Well, that's a great kick. Easy under the poles. It's half time. Oh, Mauritius was full on attack, and they got the bounce of the ball here. I think he was getting ready to defend. The next thing, he found the ball in his hand and was able to score a rather easy try. With the score is 21-0. Ghana are leading here comfortably at halftime. What are the coaches going to say to them? You know, Ghana leading 21-0 here. Are they going to add to the score, or is Mauritius, who really have played a lot with the ball but just haven't been able to get proper momentum, and they don't have much direction? A lot of their play has been zigzagging, and they're just not able to get some consistency in terms of getting some forward momentum.
Zagari robbed there, the man who took that ball from the kickoff quite well. Now Mauritius kicking the ball away. It's been caught by Kofi Apia, waiting to find his support. Eventually decides to take the ball into contact himself. Comes to this near side to Gideon Kluge. Back into the hands of Emmanuel Carlos, making his way past a few defenders. Now he pins his ears down for the corner, and it will be Emmanuel Carlos who goes over for the first points of the second half. And I think it's safe to say that Ghana will be in the bowl final later on today.
Carlos is such a great character, and he's such an inspirational leader. We've spoken about some of the inspirational leaders in some of these teams, and he's one of them. You know, having a chat with them early on Friday when they arrived, he was so inspirational, and he's motivating some of his players. And you can see there's a sign. He's putting up the sign then. Some of his followers in Ghana, let's have a comment trying to explain what that sign means. Would really like to know. But that's a good try, and you can see it's quite interesting that he runs with the ball in one hand and runs with it comfortably. Oh, that's a decent kick. Ghana are very, very comfortably in the lead here. 28 points to 0. Mauritius coach must be disappointed because they've had enough ball to be able to put points on the board, but just haven't been able to do anything with it.
Again, Ghana managed to get their hands on the ball after another good restart from them. It's such a crucial part of the game of sevens. A strong tackle coming on Francis Donkor, but Ghana managed to retain the ball. Another big hit coming from this Mauritian side. I think they realize that they're not going to win this game, so they might as well try and bash up this Ghanaian side. Try and win the battle, although you might not win the war. But it's been kicked through by this Ghanaian team yet again, and a fortunate bounce. It looks like it's Selim Govor down on that right-hand side, and that will be try number 6 for Mauritius.
Of course, viewers in South Africa would know this man right here, Gafoor. We've spoken about him earlier on, that he is very clever. He's the one who indicated to the player that played scrum off there that the kick was on. And the execution was perfect, and he was able to gather it in to just jog in and score in the corner. And the Mauritius players are starting to take injury toll. Is starting to rise up quite a lot now. And I think they've got to start making a lot of substitutions just to try make sure that players are still in good nick when they have to play the next match.
Yeah, they still have that one more game coming up, and that will be against Botswana later on today. Botswana will be eager to get their first win and their first points of the competition. And just a reminder that we will have those Cup semi-finals coming up later. It will be Kenya up against Madagascar in the first semi-final, and then it will be an epic clash between Uganda and Zimbabwe, a repeat of last year's final, which is Uganda snuck by 3 points, and I'm sure Zimbabwe will be keen for revenge.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to be another humdinger, and we've seen some great matches here on day 2 on Kwesa Free Sports, and it's been exciting, and the crowd also appreciating a lot of the tries that have been scored, and that's what sevens rugby is all about.
Mauritius still in with a little bit of fight here as the ball goes to Davesh Ragu before he's brought to ground, but the penalty goes the way of the Ghanaian team, and Mauritius really can't catch a break in this encounter, finding themselves 33-0 down.
Yeah, they really can't. And it's disappointing for the coach himself in terms of how does he motivate the players. A lot of them, their bodies are sore. It's young minds. They're playing against some seasoned vets. And that's a well-played, structured try, and he's going to score the try easily. I think that's the first try of the tournament.
Gideon Kluge getting his name on the score sheet. And it should be another simple conversion as well. So the moment tries just continue coming in, and Donkor can't miss a conversion. Simple one right in front. He adds the extras, Takes Ghana to a 30-0 lead over Mauritius. Under 2 minutes left. And I think they might be eyeing 50 here.
Yeah, scores mounting as Ghana are making a lot of substitutions now, trying to get the whole bench on. With a 40-point lead, you've got to be comfortable with bringing on the reserves.
Ghana organizing their defense nicely as the ball comes to the near side to Akoye. Akoye does well to get the pass away to Gafour. Again, Akoye. Strong hit coming on Monchon. And the ball now lost forward by Ghana. Mauritius back in possession, and then another turnover ball. So it will result in a scrum, but some physical hits coming from this Mauritius side. I think it's about the third or fourth one that we've seen in this game. They really have upped their defensive intensity today.
Yeah, look at this tackle. Oh, oh. They call it Ufa. There it is, right in the mid-wrist. And I mean, the Mauritians have said, well, if we're not able to score tries, we might as well score some big hits, and they really have. They have lined up some of these players with some solid hits. And a number of their players have been getting injured, and it's, I think, going game to game. They're dropping one by one. It's really, really struggling.
I think with this sevens tournament going all over Africa, the Africa Men's Sevens, Mauritius might be a nice venue to have the 2019 edition.
No, most definitely. I mean, one of the most beautiful countries within the African continent. I mean, you know, to have some of the best sevens teams in the continent, you know, flying into the Mauritius and getting it, you know, done properly. There we see in picture Colin Osborne, a legendary West Indian born, raised coach that's spent a lot of years in England by Harlequins Rugby Club, and so much knowledge of rugby and just skills in abundance. And it's good to see him helping the African game and trying to help the Ghanaian team. You can see some of that skill starting to come through. Obviously it wasn't shown yesterday because they did play some tough teams, but I think if he could continue, you know, passing his knowledge, it'll be a good thing for Ghanaian rugby.
Final opportunity for Mauritius to get on the scoreboard with ball in hand inside their own half. Looking a little bit better, the interplay between these Mauritius players as the ball comes to Adrian Riverland. Losing the ball backwards, says the referee, so it's available for Marengo. Picked up by Daneville. Taking the ball into contact himself, opened up the space for Marengo down this right-hand touchline. Brought to ground just short of the 10-meter line. Still there for Mauritius. Picked up now by Riverland. Gets the pass away to Daneville, and that's pretty much been the story of Mauritius' game today. A simple knock-on brings an end to the match. Ghana with a comfortable victory. Mauritius with plenty to work on before their final game later on.
Yeah, disappointing for Mauritius. You can see that player in the picture right now, and he summed it up as you said, Johan. He slammed his scrum cap onto the floor just from a knock-on, but it's been a good victory for Ghana and their coaching staff that's been dedicated to trying to get them up to the level of the other teams. But the final score here, 40 points to 0.